it's hard as a spectator, and that's what I am. When the game starts, I'm a spectator. Not anything I can do, and I compare it to being a parent watching your kids play, because when your kids play, you know, you worry about everything and you want them to do well, and there's not anything you can do about it. So, you know, you sit there and fret over it, and that's pretty much the position I'm in. Once we go out on the field, that you have to have confidence in the guys that you put out there, and that they're capable of doing what you hope we can do, and that's a win. And you know, they got us there, and so you just have to hope that they continue to play well.
How special was it to win that night in Tampa, and then to come home to see how everybody was feeling about it?
Well, you know, it was really neat to win that first series and come home to play the Yankees, because our record in postseason as a ball club hadn't been good at all. We'd only won one game, and so I think there was that stigma that we might not be able to win in postseason, and so to get past that first series was big for us, and then to get past the Yankees was even bigger. So
what do you remember about that night when going to win independent?
Well, when we beat the Yankees at home, I consider that one of the top 5 highlights of my career, and it was just from being there and being involved in the organization and experiencing that. I think anybody that was in that stadium that was a Ranger fan really felt like that was a very special sports moment in their life, and that's the way I looked at it.
When did you, was there a point you decided you were interested in running a franchise?
Oh, you know, I think the second half of my career, I thought, you know, I might want to get involved in the business side of baseball and be involved in management and help set the direction of an organization, because I think as a player, you feel like that you start getting some understanding of that. But now that I look back on it, I think what your views as a player are, and then once you're in that position, are totally different. And so it's been a big education for me. I've really enjoyed the challenge of it, and I have really enjoyed being in this position.
Your philosophy is just to hire good people?
Well, you have to. You know, you can't micromanage, so you have to try to put the best people you can in as many positions as you can, and let them do their job and support them, and hope that things go right. And you know, there were a lot of good people in the organization when I came here, and I think that today we're even a stronger organization, and we all have a philosophy, and that is to develop from within our system and then add where we need to on a year-to-year basis if we're able to. And so I don't think we've wavered from that, and so that's pretty much the philosophy of Texas Rangers.
Did you ever think you'd run the Astros?
Well, you know, obviously growing up here and my interest level in the Astros was high, because as a childhood being in Houston and then following the Colt 45s and the Astros, and then being able to play here for 9 years. When I came here as an Astro, I really thought I'd retire as an Astro, and didn't anticipate going to the Rangers. But once I went up there and stayed 5 years, a lot of neat things have happened to me, and so my association with the Metroplex of the Texas Rangers has been very special.
What challenges do you think Jim Crane and his group will face once they finally take over the Astros?
Well, I think that Jim is the mindset, from what I've heard, is that he's going to try to build a ball club through his farm system, and so I think he's going to have some challenges of being patient and signing players and giving them an opportunity to develop. And you don't do that overnight. As we've found out with our organization, you know, you get players in your system, you have to keep putting people in the pipeline, because you're going to have all type of things that happen, from injuries to misevaluations to players not performing, and so there's a tremendous fallout rate on players that you bring into your system, and so you have to try to keep adding people as much as you can, and try to not have a void in the system.
your standpoint as a person who's now in management, what do you say to the fans of Houston who are looking at this team right now and they're like, what happened after, 6
Well, I
years
think
ago?
that, a lot of clubs go through this, and the Astros are going through a period right now, but I think for the fans, I think they should look at the young players coming up and being supportive of them and understanding that these are cycles that organizations go through, and it just happens to be one that the Astros are in right now.
What was your initial reaction when you heard about the sale of the team? I mean, it had been a near sale, I guess, while you were still here.
Well, I was surprised that Drayton chose to sell the ball club, because I really didn't think that was probably what he wanted to do. But I think he's at a point in his life that that wasn't something the boys had an interest in. So I think it makes sense that he doing what he's doing. So from that standpoint, it doesn't surprise me. But I really think that the Astros have been a tremendous part of Drayton's life and his not only his personal life but his business life. So I think it was a tough decision on him.
Nolan, how much of a satisfaction has it had what you're doing? It's working. You worked last year and working again.
Well, I'm enjoying it a lot, and it's fun to be able to be in first place, but also, it doesn't keep you worrying about the things that you see and concern yourself with as far as being a better ball club and continuing to improve.
The pressure to stay there, it's never goes away.
No, it's a challenge. It's a year-to-year deal, and just because of what we did last year, that we have to approach each year the same with the same intensity and basically analyze your ball club and see what you have to do to try to improve it and stay on top.
Why does it seem like the older you get, the busier you get?
I don't know, but that's a true statement. And I thought I was going to be retired and have all this time on my hands, but that's just the opposite.
How important is that to you that you are staying busy?
Well, I think it's a unique opportunity that I have and get to do what I'm doing. Very few people get to do that, and so I feel very fortunate for that, and I enjoy it. And I think that's the most important thing, is that you enjoy what you're doing.
What do you think about the Astros and Rangers playing in the same division?
Well, I wouldn't be against that at all, because it puts somebody else in our division and our time zone, and I think that's important. We're at a disadvantage from our TV audience and our travel by having to go west, and so I would be in favor of adding somebody, and I think it would be good. I think if you had the Astros and the Rangers in a pennant race, I think it stimulate a lot of interest in the state, and I think that would be good.
So you're for the realignment? Or some form of it?
Well, I'm if we can improve our situation with Texas Rangers, we'd certainly be open to it.
Well, you said somebody, but the Astros, as Richard said, pointed, seems like an obvious thing. That seems like it would make the rivalry. If
well, it would make the rivalry in the state such a big deal, and I think that with the demographics in the state of Texas, I think it'd be good for baseball.
Mr. Ryan, are you looking to make any moves, or do you guys feel pretty comfortable?
Oh no, we're always trying to improve our ball club. So as I said earlier, we're always looking to see what might be available and what we might be able to do, but it's hard to predict. We don't have a deal pending right now.
Is the bullpen your biggest need right now?
Well, it's hard to say, because we have Hunter and O'Day and Feldman coming back, and so that gives us some flexibility of what we might do with the starting rotation or with the bullpen. It's hard to say.
Do you think Ogando should go back to the bullpen?
I wouldn't say that. I think he'll obviously give him another start, but we know he can pitch out of the bullpen and be important to us out of the bullpen, but he's been awfully important to us as a starter this year too, so I think predicting that he'll go back to the bullpen would be premature. Obviously when those other guys get back and we see how they're performing, we'll have some decisions to make.
You know, all that stuff about realignment and Astros maybe being in the Rangers division, how realistic is that thought, or is it you look at kind of like a trial balloon that's just kind of being floated out
Well,
there?
you know, I hadn't heard a whole lot about it. The only thing I've heard about it was in the media. I haven't heard anything at the meetings about it, so I don't know how serious people are about that. So I think it's one of those deals that that seed got planted and it's grown, and we'll see where it goes, because I don't have anything to base it off of any more than what I've read in the paper.
Do you think of Biggio's chances of getting the Hall and joining you there in a couple of years?
Oh, I think they're probably good. You look at his numbers and look at his career overall, I think he stands a good chance.
Just since we've got you here, what's your thoughts on the situation out in LA with the Dodgers and that fiasco?
Oh, you know, I'm not really up on that any more than y'all are from what I read in the paper. And anytime you go to bankruptcy, you don't want to do that. And then if you're in bankruptcy, it's in the judge's hands, and where it goes from there, you know, who knows? You know, if you'd have told me last year that we were going to have an auction after we had an agreement, I would have never thought that. And so you don't know where bankruptcy will take you, and you know, it's strictly in the judge's hands, so we'll just have to see how that plays out.
Did you ever think you'd see that franchise, though, especially of all?
Well, you know, when I was a player, that was probably the marquee franchise in baseball, and it's kind of sad to see where they've gone and the problems they have. But hopefully that they'll get those issues worked out, and they'll become the franchise they once were.
That was stressful last summer for you personally, wasn't it? Not knowing how it was going to come out, whether you know.
Well, I tell people the day of the auction was one of the worst days of my life, because I really thought when Cuban and Jim Crane teamed up, I really thought they would get the ball club bought. And so I went there that day not expecting us to end up with the ball club and having our situation changed. I really thought that my days were probably limited with the ball club, and I was concerned about our personnel and what would happen from there on. And so it was a very strange day indeed, and you know, it's something that you hope you don't experience again.
Long day.
Yeah.